Hey, click the link below, Silent Hero Films, silentheroFilms.com. Click the link below, support independent films. Award-winning, might I add. So I've gotten back into coaching this year and jumped 2 feet in, right? And I'm raising 2 children who are...
What?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them myself. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
More than likely will be in the upper crust in terms of basketball talent as an individual, right? And there's always, many times, not all the time, many times I walk in the gym, there's conversations about private school versus public school. And here in LA, we have a lot of prestigious private schools. And I'm not driving no more. I can roll these windows down. And we have a league, basketball-wise, called the Mission League. And the Mission League is the best league probably in the state of California in terms of competitiveness, in terms of drawing the most athletic talent as a league, right? And I always have a lot of conversations with parents about private school versus public school. And so many parents value the front of the jersey, the name on the front of the jersey, more so than the name on the back of the jersey. And you say, Fred, why do you say that? Because you have to judge where your child going to school based off of your child, not based off of the accolades of the school. And I think number one should be public safety. Obviously, whenever you're dealing with the school, public safety is number one. Regardless of their academics, the social climate, will your child get home to you safely? That is completely underrated, public safety. That's number one. And me being a teacher for 7 years, I prided myself on having a safe environment where kids can learn, explore their individuality and grow. And I was a teacher of the year. I'm in every newspaper in LA, basically, when I was a school teacher. And what I can say from that experience and what I am currently going through now as a basketball coach and as a parent of 2 very young basketball players is understand who your child is, as opposed to saying, I want my child to go there because this is a school that everyone says is great. No, where is your child academically? Where is your child athletically? And I think parents pretend that academics is everything. They pretend. It's not the reality of it, because you got to develop the whole child. It's not just academics, right? For example, if academics is so important, no matter what sports, well, I'm going to just stick with basketball because that's where I have most information from. I guarantee you will have more conversations with the basketball coach than you will your child's science teacher, English teacher. Matter of fact, combined, how many games they play in high school? 28 plus playoffs, plus fall league, plus spring league, plus summer league. you will probably have about 100 interactions with the head coach, whether it's a handshake, whether it's a hand nod, whether it's a wave and thank you, but you won't have that with your child's school teacher. And don't tell me about it. Show me who you are. Don't tell me who you are. Show me who you are. And parents lie to themselves. And I'm talking about on a macro level, and ultimately lie to their child. If your child is an average student and a great athlete, you need to find a place where they can excel and get and benefit from both, versus saying my child is a great basketball player and an average student, so I'm gonna put them in the toughest school out here. The toughest school out here will be like a Harvard Westlake, Poly and Pasadena, schools of that caliber, and they're great schools. And I'm not knocking the school. So because they're a great basketball player, you send them where they have to be challenged academically. And ultimately, what's going to happen? The numbers will tell you this in everything in your life. It's like a pulled muscle. When you have a pulled muscle, the other muscles around that pulled muscle have to overcompensate for that injury, right? And that's the same thing happens in life. You want your child to develop in basketball, but they can't develop in basketball because the academics is pulling away from them growing athletically, right, in basketball. So as opposed to them balancing out, spending 2 hours with homework and 2 hours on the basketball court, they're doing 4 hours of homework and 1 hour on the basketball court. And because you got to get the basketball work in, because you got to do the academics. So now you're sleep deprived. Now your parents are living through drive-through. I see it all the time. Parents living through drive-through, waiting in the parking lot till 7 o'clock. They doing homework. Then they got practice. Then they got to stay up till very late. Then they got to redo it all over again. And mom and dad got to go to work. And it's you got to know who your child is. And a lot of parents are quietly in competition with other parents, right? Oh, my child goes to Sierra Canyon, is the hottest school nationally, probably. My child goes to Sierra Canyon. My child plays for Sierra Canyon. Mm-hmm. Your child is the ninth man on Sierra Canyon when they can go to their local high school, when they can go to a public school for free and be a Hall of Famer at that school. And instead of getting a 3.0 at a private school, right, at those most challenging schools, at a public school, you'll get a 3.8, 3.9, and you'll get admitted into any. Now you have the option. Do you want to go play basketball? And do you want to play or academic? You can get an academic scholarship or a basketball scholarship. You know what I mean? And I think parents don't see the whole picture. They only think that, because parents think that if you go to a public school, now I'm not speaking for all public schools, right? Now, there are differences. There are levels to public schools, just like there are levels to private schools. But after you do your research on the public safety that surrounds that public school, right? It's time to have a conversation on where your child is academically, where your child is athletically, right? And it has to be done with all parents or whoever, stepdads, grandparents, whoever are in that decision-making team with the child, right? Because at the end of the day, these schools only have 15 spots. And realistically, only 8 will play over 10 minutes a game, right? 10 to 15 minutes a game, because that's just the reality of it, right? The further you get along in season, the shorter the bench gets, right? And I think that I'm volunteering a lot with kids now. I volunteer with probably up to 50 kids, right? Every day, basically. And in addition to coaching at the high school, I volunteer, and I'm having these conversations not once a week, not twice a week, every day of the week. I'm having these conversations with parents because many of the kids are great, or will have great high school careers if they choose the right high school for their situation. And private school is not the answer for your child. If he is marginal academically and he's great athletically, something has to suffer because it's too extreme. You understand what I'm saying? And so you got to find that balance. You want your child to be challenged and get better. So you got to go interview these coaches. You got to go walk these campuses. You got to go meet with the principal, the assistant principal. It's so important. People just go off of what they hear on the Instagram and social media. My child is going there because it's the best school academically. But what about socially? What about emotionally? You know, like this past year alone, Harvard-Westlake had 3 suicides. Whole person. You know what I mean? And you could talk about public schools. I don't know the data about that, but because Harvard-Westlake is so prestigious, but there are crimes that surround public schools as well. So I'm not comparing and contrasting, but I am comparing and contrasting. I'm not choosing a side. I just want you guys to, I just want parents. I pray that parents choose their child. Choose your child over that private school. And that's all I have to say, man. I really want the best for these kids, man. I want these kids to get everything out of they want in basketball. Because realistically, if you've been, because as a parent, here's the reality of it. We're going to spend thousands of dollars. We're going to gain 20 pounds. We're going to get older. We're going to lose our hair. And all to give our power away because of the history of a school. No, do it for your last name. No. Don't do all the work until they're 14 and then say, here, coach. No. It's a partnership. It's a partnership. I'm not saying scream, yell, and berate. Work with the growth, right? Because if you've been playing basketball since you're 4, 5, 6, you should be getting a scholarship. The goal should be to play in college, right? Because if you're playing basketball at 4, 5, 6 years old, you're starting at that young, there's an academic component that's an expectation too, right? So in addition to playing basketball, you should have been building disciplines academically, right? To excel you or to balance you off. So there's not 2 extremes, right? Anyhow, man, y'all go ahead and have a beautiful day, man. Click the link below, silentheroFilms.com. We about 60 something days away to the start of high school basketball season. I'm excited. Can't wait. And I'm excited for all these kids in the area to be successful. Lincoln and I will be going to about 30 basketball games in addition to our games. We'll be going to a lot of games, man. And I really want these childs and these parents to have success. Ultimately, I really, really want them to have success, man. And find the school that benefits your whole child, not just academically, not just athletically. Find that mesh point. You know what I mean? If it's public school, it's public school. You know what I mean? But more importantly, make sure that surrounding area, there's a huge public safety component, that your child comes home to you every day. That should be, in my opinion, that should be number one. Because if that's number one, then they're walking by homes as opposed to they're walking by storefronts. They're walking by business owners every day. They're walking by people who work in the community that are doing great for the community, you know. So anyways, man, y'all have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.